How's it going, everybody? Wildman Wes here, and welcome to day 16 of Whatcha Poison's 24 Beers of Christmas. Alright, enough stalling. We're just gonna open this up. From Industry Brew in Peoria, we have Rudolph Fuel. Okay, this is a coffee chocolate porter. Alright, that's speaking my language right here. Let's see. What's the ABV on this bad boy? Do they have it? Do they have it? It does not look like they do. Oh well, anyways, it's a porter, so it's probably going to be at least about a 6 or 7% ABV. That's just my guess from beers that I've had of this style. So we're going to give us a nice little pour. Ooh. It's kind of light for a porter, which that's not a bad thing, but may not be a good thing. Then again, with the coffee, this might be good, but before I forget, we do have something that's on here. Too many of this beer on a weekday night and you might not be showing up to work the next day. Good thing it's a weekend right now for me. But even if you feel like the dead, give your boss a call. I wouldn't recommend that. You can blame it all on the juicy hop aroma and flavor with the perfect touch of bitterness. And can we talk about that body? I mean, it's a little hazy, but it sure was full. Okay, I mean, it says, full body. I mean, okay, it looks kind of full body. I mean, a little light, but you know what? Here, we're gonna do a little sniff. Okay, a little dark chocolate, definitely some notes of coffee. Well, here's to it. Take a sip out of the can. Well, not really getting a lot of hop on this one. I mean, it's not a bad beer, it's just they kind of overhyped this one. This one, it's I'm gonna say nice. It gets the job done, let's put it that way. I mean, I'm getting that black coffee flavor, yes. The chocolate, yeah, I mean, it doesn't leave much to the imagination, but yeah, it's tolerable. That's what I'm going to say on this one. Speaking of tolerable, or slightly tolerable, it's time for our movie review of the day. Today we're going to be talking about the recent 2022 The Mean One. Okay, the reason why I was going to do this review is because recently on our Shocktoberfest series this year, we did last year's adaptation horror film, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. I had a lot of high hopes and expectations for this film, and it didn't come with packages, boxes, or tags. This one came with a lot of alright, we're just going to go into it. This movie obviously had to take a lot of liberties of not saying specific names or had to change things because of copyright and trademark. So the name of the town that the lovable characters from the Seussian universe, or the Seussiverse, as some people may call it, I don't know, maybe I just made that up, but anyways, the town is called Newville, where a young girl named Cindy sees a man dressed as Santa Claus. Or is he really a man? Maybe he's a monster, with his green fur and his ridiculously misshapen teeth. Unfortunately, Cindy sees a little bit too much other than this character when her mom is murdered by the infamous imposter Claus. We fast forward quite a few years later. Her and her father are driving back to the town of Newville, where they're going to go back to the house where everything started, and unfortunately, the Mean One comes back, kills her father, and then the whole town starts realizing, oh, she's bringing it back. It's not very good. We don't know what's going on. People are dying around this time of the year. We don't really celebrate Christmas anymore. And it gets to the point where Cindy has finally had enough of the Mean One shenanigans. She meets up with a man known as the Doc, who pretty much puts her on a training montage to defeat the Mean One. Eventually, you find out a lot of backstory, but you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and leave it at that for now, because it is a more recent movie. It is on Amazon Prime. I would recommend renting it instead of buying it because it is kind of worth a one watch, but we're going to go into the stuff of what I like and what I don't like about the film. We're going to start off right away with what I like about the film. Not a whole lot, but I mean, what really makes me enjoy the film to a degree is the Seussian references and Easter eggs. I'm not going to get into everything, but let's just put it this way. That character I told you about named Doc that helps prepare Cindy for the final battle with the Mean One, his last name is Zeus, and at one point he is called Dr. Zeus, and it just kind of, Dr. Seuss, get it, ha 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 ha. Some of the other Seussian Easter eggs that I found very interesting is that at one point in a doctor's office, you see a fishbowl with a red fish and a blue fish. I thought that was a nice nod. Another one is that there is a bar in town called Horton's, and that's where you hear all the booze having a little fun. One obscure Seussian Easter egg that I found very fascinating was there was somebody that went missing prior to Cindy coming back into the town, and they found his wallet, and his last name was Mulberry, and it's kind of what I heard on Mulberry Street, or what I found out on Mulberry Street. I mean, that is an obscure reference, but I found it fun nonetheless. Okay, that being said, we get to talk about what I don't like about the film. Now, I understand this is an independent film, and I understand it is a parody. However, even with the horror parody, yes, in horror movies the acting cannot be the best. It's not perfect. But the first half of the movie, it was so, I mean, some of this acting, I mean, they make Tommy Wiseau from The Room look like Tom Hanks.
You're tearing me apart, Lisa!
And that's saying a hell of a lot. Or should I say, a who of a lot. I mean, the acting eventually does kind of get a little bit better as the progression of the movie happens. I mean, there's a lot of cringeworthy moments. Like, when Cindy is going into her training montage, she starts going into this, she starts, like, looking like Ronda Rousey. I'm just kind of like, is this a horror adaptation of a beloved children's book? Or is this a UFC fight with guns and weapons? I don't know. But I was determined to watch the rest of the film. Another thing that kind of made me, at first it was cute, but after a while they just, you know, the beating the dead horse. One of the deputies in town talks about how he doesn't celebrate Christmas because he is of the Jewish faith. And they just keep poking at it, like they talk about, oh, didn't the nose give it away that I'm Jewish? Oh, remember, I'm Jewish, I've got homemade matzo ball soup. I'm Jewish, I don't put up the lights, I only have the menorah. It's just kind of like, we get it, dude. We get it. You're safe from the Mean One, you're not gonna die. But it just, at first it was cute. Like I said, it was cute at first, but when they just keep doing it and doing it and doing it, it's just, it becomes cringeworthy. And I kind of zoned out a little bit. One interesting thing about it that I was kind of, oh, okay, you know, with the backstory of the fact that the Mean One was not found after the death of Cindy's mother, however, you know, goes up into the mountains, up into, you know, up in the woods and everything like that. There's a backstory of people are in on it in town. And it's just like, I started getting this vibe of when they talk about, oh, we don't say his name, we don't talk about him, we don't bring him up. This movie, the best way I could describe it in the end, it's if The Room met A Nightmare on Elm Street, boom, you've got yourself a horror movie adaptation of a Seuss character. That's exactly what this movie is, and you know what, for better or worse. Now, in the interest of fairness, I did bash this a bit. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna give this one a C-. They tried. Believe me, they tried. It's just a lot of the forced bad acting at the beginning, and yeah, just some of the backstories was very, very ripped off. It was ripped off quite a bit. And I was disappointed. Not mad, just disappointed. However, just like this beer today, I tolerated it. That being said, we hope you tolerated this review of both the beer and the Mean One. If you agree with me, you can leave a thumbs up. If you don't agree with me, I totally understand if you leave a thumbs down, because horror adaptations of books or whatever, cartoons, it's not for everybody. It can be for some, but it just depends on how much of an anal retentive movie reviewer you can be, i.e. me. Other than that, we hope you share on social media, but most importantly, let's keep that algorithm going. Let's push that little red button and ring that bell for instant notifications. Also, while you're at it, make sure you check out my boy Hefe on Beer You, Beer Me. He's got a lot of great stuff coming up, and I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of it in the meantime. Until then, I'm Wildman Wes, and we will see you tomorrow for day 17 of What's Your Poison's 24 Beers of Christmas. I hope. Cheers.